The cold that morning felt cruel. It wasn't just the kind of chill that made you wrap your coat tighter. It was the kind that dug into bones. The kind that whispered loneliness to those who had nowhere to go. On the corner of a busy street, beside an old bus stop, a girl sat curled up on the frozen bench. Her clothes were thin, her shoes worn down to almost nothing. Her face was pale, and her lips trembled as she pressed her knees to her chest, trying to hold on to whatever warmth she could gather. Her name was Lena. Life had not been kind to her. In the past 6 months, she had lost almost everything: her parents, her home, and the fragile safety net she thought would always be there. Lena was only 18, yet the weight she carried made her look older. For weeks, she had been surviving on little food, walking long hours, and sleeping wherever the night found her. That morning, she had nothing left but exhaustion and tears. She refused to let fall. The world passed by quickly at the bus stop. Businessmen checked their watches. Mothers tugged impatiently at their children's hands. Students scrolled through their phones. Everyone seemed too busy, too wrapped in their own struggles to notice the girl who sat trembling in silence. But then someone did. A little boy, no more than 7 years old, tugged on his mother's sleeve. His eyes, wide with innocence, had locked onto Lena. He tilted his head, studying her with the curiosity only a child carries, the kind that doesn't see wealth or poverty, success or failure, only humanity. The mother, hurried and distracted, tried to pull him along. "Come on, we'll miss the bus." But the boy refused. He let go of her hand, walked over to Lena, and stood right in front of her. She lifted her head slowly, surprised. No one had spoken to her in days. The boy leaned closer, and with a voice so soft it almost broke, he whispered, "Can you smile?" The words caught Lena off guard. Out of all the things she expected: a coin, a glance of pity, maybe even harsh words, this wasn't one of them. Smile. She hadn't smiled in weeks. Her throat tightened, her eyes watered. "I don't think I can," she murmured. The boy frowned for a moment, then reached into his pocket. With tiny fingers, he pulled out a small, crumpled piece of chocolate. It was half melted, clearly saved for later. He placed it carefully in Lena's hands. "My teacher says smiles make people warm," he said. "So if you smile, maybe you won't be so cold." Something inside Lena cracked open. She looked at the chocolate, then at the boy's hopeful eyes. Her lips trembled, not from the cold this time, but from the flood of emotion that rose in her chest, and for the first time in what felt like forever, a faint, shaky smile appeared. The boy's face lit up. "See, you look warmer already." His mother finally came over, embarrassed, pulling him back. She apologized quickly to Lena, then hurried away. But the boy kept waving until the bus doors closed. And just like that, the moment passed. But for Lena, it lingered. She stared at the little piece of chocolate in her palm. It wasn't food or shelter or money, it was something far greater. It was kindness. It was proof that she was still visible, that she hadn't disappeared completely into the cracks of the world. That whisper, "Can you smile?" was more powerful than anything else. That night, Lena made a choice. Instead of giving up, instead of surrendering to the cold darkness of despair, she decided to fight one step at a time. She found a shelter that evening, guided by a stranger's directions. The shelter wasn't perfect, but it was warm, and it gave her food and a bed. From there, she started looking for work, small jobs at first, washing dishes, cleaning tables, folding clothes at a thrift store. It wasn't easy. Every day felt like climbing a mountain barefoot. She was rejected more times than she could count. People doubted her, turned her away, or simply ignored her. But she kept going. She remembered, the boy's words, "Smiles make people warm." So, even when she felt like breaking, she tried to smile, not just for herself, but for others who might also be cold inside. Months passed. Slowly, her life began to shift. She saved up money, rented a tiny room, and enrolled in night classes. She learned new skills and eventually landed a steady job. At a community center, what was once nothing became something. And through it all, Lena carried a folded wrapper, the remains of that little piece of chocolate. She kept it in her pocket as a reminder that even the smallest act of kindness can change the course of someone's life. Years later, Lena stood at that very same bus stop again, but this time, she wasn't the girl shivering on the bench. She was dressed warmly, her eyes alive with purpose. She often came back not because she had to, but because she wanted to. She carried sandwiches, blankets, and kind words for anyone who looked lost or alone. One cold morning, she noticed a teenage boy sitting by himself, shoulders hunched, eyes downcast. She walked over and knelt beside him. "Hey," she said gently, "can you smile?" The boy looked up, surprised, just as she had been once. And when he did, a new story began. Message to viewers: sometimes the world doesn't need grand gestures to heal, it needs small whispers of kindness. A smile, a chocolate, a reminder that no one is invisible. You never know, the smallest thing you do for someone may be the spark that saves their life. So, if you're watching this, ask yourself, whose day can I warm with a smile today?